Thanks, Gilly, and good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We're excited tonight and this morning to provide you an update on what we are launching this month within Webex. And if you move to the next slide, as always, we are sharing some forward-looking statements tonight. So we just put the safe harbor statement up here just to let you know that some things may change in the future. We don't expect them to, but just in case. If you move to the next slide, in September, we're going to continue the Webex innovation, and we've got a number of updates, including news for our Webex Suite commercial offer. We have a whole new set of Webex features and experiences that we're going to share with you, updates on our devices, as well as Webex for Government updates. Also, Adrian is joining us today again, and he's going to give us a great demo to bring some of these features and experiences to life. So let's get started. On the next slide, we have news in September about Webex Suite. We introduced this in June of this year. It's really the best of breed solution for hybrid work. It brings together all of the Webex calling, meeting, messaging, polling, and events, as well as feature offerings, all in a single subscription per month per user. And the idea here is really to extend across an entire organization all the capabilities for the best hybrid work experience. This is available for $11.95 per month per user, enterprise-wide. So it's very affordable. In fact, it's about 40% less than if you were to buy these capabilities separately. So there's an inherent advantage in getting all of the capabilities from Webex, but also you'll continue to get more capabilities. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the features that we're adding in September. If you move to the next slide, we also have great news because not only do we have a really compelling price point, but we're also offering some new options. So in September, we will also be introducing a named user feature. This gives customers the flexibility, if they wish, to have a per user subscription, and that can add more named users as their adoption grows. We're also going to be introducing some new options, giving customers even more opportunities to take advantage of some other deployment options. In this case, we're calling out on the slide dedicated instance. So this is an opportunity for organizations who may have a combination of requirements for dedicated resources or more specialized call manager capabilities, unified call manager capabilities. In addition to Webex calling, that is also an option. And again, we want to remind you all that the Webex Suite here also provides an advantage. You have access to the device cloud promotion. So this means that you're able to take all of the Webex devices and have those at a substantially discounted rate. So that means you can combine Webex desks or devices at a 50% discount off of our Cisco suggested retail pricing. So what we're really introducing with the Webex Suite is a great way for your organization to take advantage of all of the Webex capabilities and couple those and really create exceptional experiences for those users who can benefit from a dedicated device, a headset. If you're going back into the office, options also for shared and meeting room spaces. So lots of great elements there. We're excited about that and the opportunity for organizations of all sizes really to take advantage of all the great features that we have within the Webex Suite for hybrid work. If we move to the next slide, let's talk a little bit about some of the other features and experiences that we're introducing. In September, we've got some great updates on expanded calling and PSTN or local calling innovation. We're continuing to refine our meeting and events experience, so we've got some new features there as well that we want to share with you. And we continue to grow our ecosystem of integration partners. And so in September, we'll be introducing some great solutions to take the next step in providing integrated incident management workflow. So great for those teams who need to quickly come together to resolve a trouble ticket for customers or other incident environments. So if we move to the next slide, let's get started. Calling is really important. It's really a foundational communication tool, and it's never been more important than in today's hybrid work world. It's really a lifeline for connecting organizations with their customers to resolve an immediate issue or just to get your work done. So whether you are a retail organization, a contact center or service team, a healthcare provider, or even a more traditional office environment, we all have to support customers to address an issue escalation or even in an emergency. It's really essential to have that calling capability to make and receive calls. And so that's why having a service that's reliable, available on a global scale, including your local footprint, has never been more important. We understand that as organizations continue to scale and grow, their communication tools in a hybrid work environment, calling is super important. And a cloud service is one that we think provides an added advantage here in terms of providing the scale, the flexibility, and the ability to integrate those experiences with other tool sets to really provide seamless call flows and allow people to be the most effective and productive wherever they may work. And part of that value proposition is really to have the experience or the capability. Whoops, Erin, if you don't mind switching back into the presentation mode, that would be great. While she does that, I'm just going to hit on the highlights here. So calling, really important. Cisco and Webex really have a leadership role that we've been playing for a number of years. And if you move to the next slide, we'll just share a couple of the statistics that really show the leadership that we have in the market. Today, we're supporting over 8 billion monthly calls on the Webex network. That includes 39 million cloud calling users. It's supported by over 1,000 calling partners worldwide to help provide service and support. And it's really backed by 20 years of experience that Cisco and Webex have with unified communications and network. And all that together really provides the foundation for a really comprehensive and enterprise-grade calling service. And so if you move to the next slide, what's important when you're trying to look at solutions to build hybrid work success? One is a global footprint, and I mentioned that before. It's really important if your organization is global to really have that coverage in order to have a great experience and have the footprint that you need, both from a service and support standpoint. Flexible PSTN or local calling option is really important as well to support locations all around the globe. Hybrid work isn't restricted to major business centers. Oftentimes it's spread across different locations, across different regions and countries. The other element here is a simplified provisioning and management solution. That's really important to help get users set up quickly, but also to provide the analytics and troubleshooting services that you may need to track usage and adoption, to resolve an issue, or to continue to scale your deployment. Advanced QoS is also really important to provide better media handling. The one thing that people are really looking for when they have a calling service is a good quality service. If you can't hear or understand what's being said, you really don't have a functional solution. So really being able to provide that QoS that always gives people the best calling service is really important. Again, if this is the way that you're communicating with customers, that's representing your business. So a QoS service, very important as part of hybrid work success. Enterprise grade feature set, also very important. People are looking for lots of advanced features in order to be more effective within their organization. Integrated collaboration, we think, is always really important because work gets done in more than calling. So the ability for you to have a call, quickly move it into a meeting, or to use other tool sets just helps make your team more effective. Security and compliance is also very important in today's environment. And intelligent devices, let's not forget those. So things like support for background noise removal, echo cancellation, or speech optimization are really important, as well as continuous call features that allow you to easily transition from different locations, or even add calling to conference rooms and open space environments and more. So there's a lot of elements that really go into making a powerful hybrid work environment. And if we move to the next slide, Webex Calling is one of the leading cloud calling solutions. It's part of the Webex Suite, and it's designed to provide a really complete and seamless collaboration experience for everybody in your organization on a global basis. It essentially is an enterprise-grade phone system in the cloud. It provides connections and integration with calling, messaging, meeting, and more. It has built-in media optimization to provide that really reliable and resilient global network experience, all delivered on the Webex cloud or network background. It supports intelligent devices, so all those AI intelligence in terms of speech intelligence and optimization, but also the ability for you easily to have hands-free experiences when you're pairing to different environments makes that very valuable. A centralized and comprehensive admin portal is also really important. We recognize that many IT admins went from supporting just a handful of locations to hundreds of locations. So being able to have that all at a single pane of glass to manage, provision, troubleshoot, and more is really important to have greater efficiency within your IT staff. Advanced analytics and reporting, as well as global availability. All of those are part of the Webex calling service that we offer today. And it really provides, again, the tools to provide an exceptional calling experience. If we move to the next slide, a big part of calling success, we believe, is having the global footprint for hybrid work. And this is an area where Webex really excels. Webex has the most PSTN or local calling options in the industry. We cover today 65 countries with certified PSTN or local calling options from our partners and from Cisco directly, with service supported across 85 countries worldwide. So it truly is a global service with an extensive set of capabilities within countries around the world. We have over 600 integrated service providers to really provide that certified local calling experience, in addition to extended support providers as well. And again, simplified procurement and provisioning all within Webex Control Hub. So that same Control Hub or admin portal that you can use for messaging, meeting, devices, contact center, security, and more. So bringing it all together really provides an environment to simplify access. And if we move to the next slide, within the Webex calling option, we actually have multiple choices for PSTN or local calling. The first is support for a local gateway. This is a great option for organizations who already have PSTN or local calling and they want to integrate it into Webex calling. The second is, again, those PSTN providers. So these are numbers that are already available from certified providers covering those 65 countries. And the third option is Cisco calling plans. This is a relatively new offer. We've had it for over half a year, and this is where Cisco provides directly PSTN or local calling plans. So lots of different options to allow you to maximize capabilities that you may already have for your organization, mix and match, make the solution fit your organization's needs, again, on a global basis. And on the next slide, again, having that centralized control is also part of the PSTN offer here. So PSTN or local calling capabilities can be supported within the admin portal, the Webex Control Hub. It will support multiple PSTN providers. We recognize that organizations often have multiple local providers around the globe. So again, having that visibility to be able to search and drill down on a geographic or country level provides that flexibility. It allows you to define those at a local level and again, manage centrally from the Control Hub pane. So on the next slide, what's new in Webex calling plans this month? First, we're excited to introduce global expansion. So now the Cisco calling plans are available in the UK. This expands our existing coverage in North America in the US and Canada to Europe, and stay tuned for additional country expansion coming soon. The second item here is also one that's designed for greater efficiency. We are also extending a new integrated experience within Control Hub, cloud connected PSTN. So this is really bringing and integrating our partners directly into the system. And if you go to the next slide, I'll give you a little bit of a visual to what this means. This is actually an industry first. It means that we're really simplifying the process to speed the implementation of local calling services. So in this case, what that means is you are an organization who wishes to expand your local or PSTN calling coverage. Instead of submitting separately orders to a PSTN provider, you can actually do that within Control Hub. That makes the process really simple. We eliminate some of the more time-consuming processes, as well as swivel chair process to take information from that provider and place it into Control Hub, assign those numbers and capabilities to different locations. Now this can all be done within Control Hub. Select your partner, select your numbers, verify emergency contact information, and then the terms of service, and you're ready to go. Effectively, what that means is you're taking a process that might have taken days and turning it into something that takes minutes. So as I mentioned today, integrated cloud connected PSTN service is made possible through integration and partnership. And our inaugural partner here is IntelliPeer. More partners will be added over time, but this is a great option, adding up to more choices for you as you add local service to Webex calling. The other element that we've added to the portfolio on the next slide is more options to provide great QoS. So WebEx Edge Connect is a service that we already have for meetings. We're now extending that to calling. It provides advanced QoS from the WebEx Edge. Essentially, it provides a direct connection or peering to the WebEx cloud. And what that means is you're able to insulate your exposure to congestion, packet loss, jitter, and delay that may occur from an over-the-top connection to the WebEx network. So bringing that directly into your premise. One more option for those environments where you really need an extra level of QoS. This is available this month, and as I mentioned, it will be an option as well for the Webex Suite licensing program. On the next slide, we have a few additional updates to our calling solutions as well. First, we're committed to providing even more flexibility. We're introducing Webex Calling Group Voicemail. This is a great option to provide shared voicemail and fax inbox for departments, groups of people, or even individuals who may not have traditional calling environments. That could be a contractor, an adjunct professor, or other similar types of individuals. And in this case, we're able to help you create a voicemail and fax inbox that can be shared by those individuals. It no longer requires a distinct user license. So again, shared voicemail box gives you not only more effectiveness to serve different types of user community, but also cost savings. And on the next element, we're also providing additional flexibility, more management options to integrate third-party devices. Again, within Control Hub, this gives you even more flexibility to bring in a third-party device into Control Hub and manage that environment for WebEx calling. So this would be things, for example, such as door phones for a restricted building access, overhead speakers, or more specialized room requirements. Those can now be added into WebEx Control Hub to give you one more element to unify management and control over those environments. And on the next slide, let's move into some of the other feature updates that we have this month for meeting and events. We're very excited, and we know we've previewed some of these features on prior calls. We are providing native Slido integration into meeting and events. It's available today within meetings, and this month it will be added to the WebEx events platform. This provides best-in-class audience engagement. It's a great way of getting immediate feedback from your audience during a meeting. It can also be configured before or after. It provides native integration, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the types of capabilities that you can introduce: live polling, Q&A, quizzes, word clouds, analytics, and more. And you see it even includes things like emojis or images. So lots of different possibilities here. This will be available for events later this month, no additional fee. So great value, again, delivered from the Webex Suite. On the next slide, one more great element that we're including is Immersive Share. This will be available for meetings and events. We already have this with our desktop devices. Now we're extending it to the WebEx app. This is a great option to create more immersive experiences so that your audience can see you along with your content, whether you're presenting in the desktop or the mobile app. This means that you're superimposed on your content, so it actually is a great opportunity to really create much more engagement and connection. Imagine if you're a salesperson, this is almost like being with your customer directly. You are the focus here in addition to your content. So great way of really connecting more with audiences. In this case, you are overlaid on your content, but you have the ability to change the position to the left, to the right, top or bottom, move yourself around, resize yourself to really optimize that experience. This will be generally available in this month in the events platform. So great, in meetings and event, excuse me. So one more great experience that we're adding to the WebEx Suite. Again, no additional cost, more options for everybody in your organization to take advantage of this. And then let's move to some of the greater intelligence capabilities that we have with the WebEx platform. WebEx Audio Intelligence really is a game changer. We've included a quote here from one of our community users who has been using the WebEx Audio Intelligence for background noise removal. In this case, it's somebody that has a small child, which can be a little bit challenging in a work environment, but clearly there's an immediate benefit if you've used WebEx background noise removal, you may have noticed this already, it's turned on by default. But this is really a great example of how we're giving people the tools to remove a lot of the common friction points and allow them to be professional anywhere. So whether that is a crying child in your home, a barking dog, sirens, etc., we're really removing a lot of those things that may have caused a disruption to your meeting previously and giving you options to be very professional. But we have more. So this month, if we move to the next slide, we are introducing another inclusive option, optimized for my voice. So we removed previously background noises, dogs, lawnmowers, etc. Now we're taking the next step because you oftentimes have people in your environment that are speaking. So optimized for my voice actually is using intelligence within the Webex network to distinguish foreground and background talkers. That means if you're working from home, a family member who may be in that environment no longer will disrupt your call. And if you're returning to the office, the same is true. If you might work in an environment where people near you are talking to other customers, etc., that also raises a security or privacy concern. With Optimize for My Voice, you select this option, and those background speech or a human voice are also removed in addition to those background noise removal. So really taking the next step totally makes sense if you're in a hybrid work environment to create more intelligence in terms of the way that your audio shows up. This will be generally available in September. So this is a great one. I'm looking forward to it. And it's perfect whether you're working from home or you're going back into the office. The next slide gives you the next update that we have in September. We continue to grow the ecosystem of partners that provide bidirectional integration. So this is really bringing in applications into Webex and at the same hand bringing them into other applications. So today you can schedule, start, or join a meeting in Zendesk or Jira if you're using those for incident management, making it really easy for an agent or someone using that platform to quickly make a meeting schedule or join a meeting. The next step is to really continue the conversation within that space. Now you'll be able to create or link to a space. That means one virtual space for all of the team members who need to communicate and resolve issues related to the ticket. It pre-populates based on the people who are already involved in that ticket. It will even give them a notification via email that they've been added to a space. And it's opportunity for them to quickly work together to identify, resolve, address the issue, all within that application. They don't need to be Webex users, so this means that the agent gets the benefit here of not having to go outside of their traditional desktop environment, and they're easily able to bring in all the subject matter experts required to resolve the issue. So one more great opportunity here to think about how collaboration can take the next step in creating even more effective workflows. Now on the next slide, we're going to take a pause and bring in Adrian to give us a quick demo of some of the new updates of other features that will be introduced in Webex in September. Adrian?
All right, let me bring my screen on. So yes, another monthly update from Webex. So this is the grid view you're pretty familiar with, right? So I actually am currently having two meetings, one for you and one, for the demo. So let me enable my camera. I'm using the Cisco Webex USB camera in here. So in here, so somebody likes to have their videos on the screen, somebody they don't. So now in Webex you have the flexibility, so just show your video as a floating window or within the screen. All right, so you could totally hide it, so now you have all this kind of participant in there as well. And also you have the options of put yourself onto the stage, right? So if you are the main speaker or the important speaker, right? So, and the whole layout will automatically change into stack view, just like before. So you could drag and drop and all this kind of important speakers onto your stage. But in 41.9, we take it to the experience to the next level, so that you could keep dragging more participants into your stage, up to 8 in a picture-in-picture view and active speaker. So totally 9 different speaker on the stage. If somebody's sharing, so all this 9 participants are on this kind of a picture-in-picture layout. So of course you could, drag the ratio of active speaker and other, attendees or other speakers in there as well. So very flexible in there. And also, we have quite a lot of updates on the audios and side as well. So just like Astrid mentioned, that we have the noise removal to the next level. For example, like in contact center environment, or you're working in a cafe, that you don't want all the voices to be captured by your meeting. So you could optimize just for your voice, right? This is starting from a Cisco internal beta and extended this experience to all the commercial and customer sites. So maybe your site will be upgraded in the October timeframe. So we're going to starting internally first, right? And you might also notice that we have separate controls on Webex Assistant and also the real-time translation, right? So before it's all converged together, because different customer might have different needs on the Webex Assistant, which is targeted for highlights and captions, but some other customer, they want focus on the real time translation, right? So some of the captions. And in the coming release, we're going to have spoken languages, which is 12 different spoken languages, as well as 109 different, caption, languages, so that you could, choose whatever you want. And just a reminder that in one of the meetings or events, the only 5 different unique language could be supported at the same time. If there's a 6, language you need, so the caption will be automatically changed into the spoken language, right? So normally it's English, right? So one of the exciting feature that everybody's looking for is the immersive share. That in the share tab, you see, show me in front of the presentation. So in this demo, I'm going to use my second screen, which is the screen that I'm communicating with you. So once I click share, so my USB camera, so will capture me and get rid of the background. And then so I could get immersive with my presentation. I just use random slides in here, right? So you could change the size of your presentation, the location, and it's a perfect immersive kind of communication with your your audience. And since this is rendered locally with your presentation and your camera, and so currently it's not available on whiteboarding, and also not available for the uploaded slides, because those are in the cloud, but your camera information is locally. So we're only supporting screen sharing and content sharing, or the application sharing right now, right? So let me pause this, all right? And so we also have some enhancement in the breakout room, all right? So let me turn this on. So if you're familiar with breakout room, that we could have all this flexibility of assign a participant automatically, or manually, or let participant to choose, right? Right now, let me choose these automatically. You know that, we need to have more breakout rooms. So we have 25 participants right now. Let me set 5 different breakout room, right? So I'm going to assign participant automatically. So you see that all these actually meeting bots are actually joined as a video devices. Before 41.9, all these devices cannot be automatically signed to a breakout room. Actually, video devices cannot join a breakout room. Now it's already supported in 41.9. And you could also, for example, I want Alice to actually move to breakout room 2, right? So, and you could do so just right before the breakout session, right? And then after the session, so it's only the host that left in the main lobby, but you could definitely join any one of the breakout room. For example, I really want to join the breakout room 2, which is 6 participant. Well, once you click, so the whole interface change into breakout session 2. So with the 6 plus you, the 7 participant in this breakout. During the breakout rooms, you have pretty much all the user experience or functions in a meeting, right? For example, you have all the reactions, you have you could raise hands in this time. Now we could even use the gesture for that, right? So let me use the thumbs up, right? So thumbs down, so that kind of things. So it's all available in a breakout. And even the immersive share we just talked about is available in breakout room as well, right? So to save some time, I don't need to go through that. And in the participant list out there, you see that different breakout session that we have quite different breakout participant, right? So let me just end up this. Just before end up the breakout session, you could say that the way we'll end the session soon. All right, so normally you could give 1 minute, so you could send this message to all the breakout sessions, so they're gonna end, their session accordingly. So let me just end this with their 60 seconds of time so that they could wrap up, so get back to the main lobby. So for breakout, so as I mentioned, that devices could join breakout session so that they're gonna see all the breakout session options in their participant list on the InTouch or room navigator, right? So the participant, they could join whatever breakout session on their own. And also we have lots of options like, so let me waiting for another 26 seconds back to these the main lobby. For you, you could just leave the session directly, so you get back to your main lobby. What else? I have to some reminder that a breakout session is only for devices for the newer generations, like Room series, Desk series, the board series. Currently not available for the older generation like XX series or MX or DX series, or right. Even though it's cloud registered, it's not available for breakout at this time, right? So you see that all the devices after the breakout, and so it will bring back to the main lobby. So very, very robust features in breakout. And for the participant, right, so we have more granular control on them as well. Right now, for example, I want to control Chloe that she cannot talk to anyone, but only talk to the host or presenter. So you could control this. And this won't affect the other. For example, Emily is not affected, right? But for example, Emily, I don't want Emily to see the participant or annotate the content. So you have much more control over your participant in the meetings. So that's also available in 41.9, right? So that's pretty much the updates in 41.9. So I'm going to give you a really sneak preview on my video settings, so that in here you see that the WebEx is always 720p. That we know that a lot of customer, they're looking for 1080p on the WebEx. Yes, we're making that. So all the customer, you will have that capability in the coming release. So stay tuned. So maybe we're going to demo that in the next update. All right, Astrid, back to you.
Thanks, Adrian. As always, the demos are fantastic. Hopefully you got the view how WebEx continues to enhance the experience Breakout
Yep,
rooms, for
yep.
example, are one of the most popular features I hear from customers all the time. It's a great feature whether you are in an education environment or you're brainstorming in an enterprise environment, and having that flexibility becomes really powerful. So as Adrian mentioned, all those great updates, we continue to make updates on devices as well. So we today have gesture recognition within the application. We're extending and delivering continuous, consistent experiences on devices as well. You currently have hand raise on the Webex desk devices. In September, we'll be adding more gestures, including thumbs up and thumbs down, and we're going to continue over time to provide even more options. Again, the intent here is to give people an opportunity to participate in the meeting, even if they never have a spoken word. And it's always great. I have to thank you guys, because as we've gone through the presentation today, I've noticed many of you have been providing reactions. Being able to do that with a hand gesture as well can also be really helpful in terms of creating more engaging meetings. On the next slide, the other update for this presentation is really going into some of the admin features. And we want to begin by talking about how hybrid work is complex. I probably don't have to tell this audience, we've all probably been working in a hybrid work environment for a year plus, and it becomes very clear some of the challenges there. So peripherals, if you're an IT admin or you're a user, how do you make sure that you understand how people are using some of the peripherals like headsets? How do you make sure that you have the latest patch? Really important when you have, let's say, 8,000 headsets. This is an area where we're looking at ways in which we can help IT admins create great experiences for user. The same is true for access. Are you having connection challenges to your meeting? How's the call quality working for users in a particular region? What about public network performance? How do I understand when I'm troubleshooting a user ticket whether or not some of the issue might be related to Wi-Fi, whether they're joining a meeting or call from a cafe or their home network? Perhaps it's, their kids are home from school, and so they're competing for access within that Wi-Fi network. Being able to provide more insights in terms of where some of the trouble problems are, some of the overall trends in terms of the way people are working, is another tool that makes it really much more efficient for IT admins to give the best experience. The same is true for devices. Oftentimes people will report an issue. However, some of that may relate back to the available CPU that they have on the device. It's also really important and to understand how people are using some of the more advanced features. Does your organization know how to use, for example, virtual backgrounds? Is noise reduction actively in use? Those are great. The other element that's very important is maintaining security and compliance. And some of this is really making sure that users don't overlook or inadvertently open up a security concern. So making sure that you have added tools and granularity in managing security policies, enterprise content management, and some of the differences that may present themselves as users collaborate with external parties or different teams within the organization, and then ultimately reducing compliance risks. So all of these are really important for users, for IT admins, and your organization as a whole. And on the next slide, this is an area where Webex is really committed to helping remove some of the complexity and give IT admins opportunities to reduce some of their costs and the complexity in that environment. And we do that providing real-time insights and analytics. So information that really helps provide insight in terms of how people are using the service in a great level of granularity. So at a regional level, at a team level, or organization-wide, having that insight helps you understand how the services are actually being used, but also to pinpoint areas where there might be a problem. And to that end, we've also introduced quite a bit of capabilities to really provide the visibility to provide end-to-end troubleshooting. Having visibility in a meeting, an event, or for a call, and understanding where some of the pain points may be to quickly find a resolution during a live session is really a tremendous value. And then simplifying management. Today we talked about opportunities to bring in even third-party devices and a single pane of glass view. So again, looking at ways in which we can provide more comprehensive solutions, again, to meet the needs of a complex hybrid work environment. On the next slide, let's cover just a few more that we're adding this month in September. The first is really looking at a more traditional frontline worker or an office environment that is uncarpeted. We're showing in the image an environment where you might be in a warehouse or in a hangar, a location where you may not have the ability to have wiring. Either it's an older building or it's not feasible. This is where DEX solutions come into play. It's an area that Webex supports today. And the next step in this is really taking Control Hub capabilities to the next level, allowing IT admins to create and manage multi-cell networks from Control Hub. This is really powerful. Imagine you're in that environment and you move into a different area in the warehouse and your call drops. That's not only frustrating, it's not really great for business. Now with Control Hub, we're giving IT admins the ability to reconfigure and create multi-cell networks for those environments. That will be available in September. On the next slide, we're also expanding our manageability with greater analytics. Today, we provide real-time analytics across calling, meeting, messaging, even devices. And now we're adding peripherals. This gives IT admins end-to-end visibility on usage and adoption, how many people are actively using devices, headsets, what types of connections, what types of call durations, what's the model that is in use, and understanding more in terms of the geographic, regional differences in terms of those patterns, as well as giving a global inventory view to all the Cisco headsets can be a really powerful tool. We know that headset utilization is even more important in a hybrid work environment to help people be more effective. So giving people tools to manage and now provide real-time analytics here is an important complement to, again, providing great service to the organization. On the next slide, we also continue to enhance the troubleshooting capabilities, and we've talked over the last few months how we continue to add capabilities here. Now we're adding at the top of this view an opportunity to have some key KPIs or metrics about usage, providing the opportunity to, in addition to what's available today, things like sorting by quality, doing easy searches on those individuals who may be having problems, getting that end-to-end or drill down view to see exactly where the problem exists, whether it's on the Wi-Fi network, on the device that they're using or others, notifications or alerts that can provide proactive information about individuals or regions that may be having problems, visualizing that on a map, providing opportunities for admins to easily join. Those all exist today. In September, we're adding even more visibility here for overall KPIs, key metrics, and the health of the network. So total number of participants, those that are having some audio problems, easily accessible to the IT admin right at the top of that screen. That will be available in Control Hub in September. And on the next slide, we're giving you one more update here in terms of how we continue to provide security, flexibility, and options. In September, we'll be introducing an option for simplified SSO configuration that gives those organizations who may have less stringent security needs an option for a new self-signed certificate. This gives them the opportunity to really submit a new signed certificate from Webex every 5 years. Again, one more way, it also will provide you some notifications in terms of when those certificates are coming up for renewal, simplifies the configuration, even gives you an opportunity to easily access some of the other security systems that may be linked. What's the value in having another option here? So we continue to have those that are signed by a public certificate authority. Those need to be updated every year. Those are great for those organizations who have more stringent security requirements, but introducing this new flexible option to simplify some of the SSO configuration is just an option for those who maybe need a little bit less security and lower admin costs. Providing that extended period and more options for self-signed certificate, lower cost, maybe a simplified option again, maybe a good one for your organization. This will be available in September. If we move to the next slide, the other highlight for you in September are Webex devices. And Adrian already covered some of these. If we go to the next slide, breakout rooms. So he already gave a great overview of how extensive the options that we have with breakouts are today. Lots of flexibility. to predefine, to do it on an ad hoc basis and give people more choice. Now adding devices to the mix provides even more options for people to join the way that they prefer to work. So devices will be available for breakout rooms in September. If we go to the next slide, we wanted to just give you a few, and I'm sorry, this is a duplicate. So if we move to the next slide, wanted to give you a few updates on WebEx for government. We recognize that the public sector has unique requirements. And so in September, on the next slide, we're introducing a couple new updates. The first is WebEx for government will support expert on demand. So this is a great option for hands-free collaboration via our RealWare integration for WebEx and now WebEx for government. This means that they get a hands-free experience, but also the integration with RealWare means that they're able to share a view of the remote site. For example, if it's a support team working for a government entity, they can share their view of that environment with a remote subject matter expert. Integrated communications gives them visual, audio, and collaboration capabilities, including calling, meeting, messaging, even annotation in real time. If you are supporting the US government, this is a FedRAMP compliant solution, but it's also appropriate for government organizations anywhere in the world. Expert on Demand is supported with RealWare, so you have the headset here. Support will be available for features in WebEx Expert on Demand 1.8 release. So there's lots of great functionality there, and it's a great option for those service or more field-facing teams where hands-free is an important part of their hybrid work solution. And on the next slide, a couple other updates for government. So last month, we introduced more customization in terms of the registration for WebEx events. We're now extending that to the government. So that means that government entities are able to use WebEx for events, customize those registration, include color choices, logos, branding to really make a more engaging registration page, create templates so it's very easy for other people within the organization to have similar and consistent event registration. Also, real-time analytics, not just for headsets, but across the board, will also be supported for government. And if you recall, we provide real-time analytics across the WebEx portfolio. So for calling, meeting, messaging, and devices, including headsets, we're extending real-time analytics to WebEx for government. That will be available in September as well. And on the next slide, we'll give you just a summary. As always, there are lots of updates across the WebEx portfolio. On these calls, we have limited time and may not be able to cover them all. But as you can see from this summary, there's lots of updates here across the app and messaging, calling, meeting, and events. The Webex Suite for our licensing and pricing, devices, contact center, control hub, and integrations. So lots of updates again for September. These are some of the highlights. If you're looking for more information, you can visit the What's New in Webex blog or help.webex.com for more detailed release notes. So lots of great things that will be available in September. Do you need to check because some of these roll out to different regions at slightly different rates, but these all begin in September. On the next slide, we want to leave you just with a couple other resources. So WebEx One 2021 is coming up. We're excited because we are just now opening up registration for this event. In the Americas, this is October 26th and 27th. In EMEA and Asia Pacific, this will be October 27th and 28th. You can see from the screen the link where you can go and register right now. This is our premier annual event. It is a virtual event and there's no cost to join. Just like last year, the engineering and product teams have been working really hard and we're going to be introducing a lot of great innovations across the portfolio, both for hybrid work as well as customer experience. On the next slide is just a sneak peek to some of the areas that will be covered. We want to highlight again, it is a digital event. Lots of innovations coming. This is really appropriate if you are a user, if you're an IT admin, if you're somebody in the C-suite. There's lots of great updates here in terms of how we're helping you get to the next level with hybrid work and also customer experience and delighting customers and prospects. The information covered here is going to include a full range of content. You'll hear from product experts. You'll hear from analysts, you'll hear from customers who are using WebEx and who are charting their path forward. So this is really valuable information. We'll also have some celebrity guests joining us. And as you see from the slide, over 30 learning sessions. So lots of really great content. we encourage you to register from that link. It's free and it's a really great use of your time. The other key thing that I will mention is that in addition to this great content, it will be localized. So this will be supported in other languages in region. If you're looking for more specifics, the registration site has that, or you can ask us a question about that and we can let you know. But again, this is something you won't want to miss. If we go to the next slide, we'll also leave you just with a quick summary of other resources that are available for you. We touched on the start of this session tonight, this morning, about updates to our Webex Suite pricing. We only had a few minutes, but if you're interested in more, there is a detailed webinar that will discuss all the details related to Webex Suite pricing and the advantages to you and your organization. That'll happen later this month. We also want to remind you that we have daily training webinars where you can interact live with an instructor, understand better tips and tricks in terms of how you can use Webex to be more effective in your job. You can take advantage of Webex Essentials. That's a whole set of resources that is designed to help organization extend adoption programs across their organization. It has tips and guidance for different functional roles in the organization. If you're in sales or if you're in a specific industry, we have specialized content really to direct those users to the best practices for them. And the last item here is there's also an opportunity to join the Webex beta program if you're interested in trying some of the new enhancements. Adrian mentioned some of the features that we're introducing in September are ones that have gone through the beta program. So it's a great opportunity not only to get a preview, but also help us make sure that we're delivering features that make sense for you and your organization. So with that, that is the conclusion of the prepared content for today. I know we have a great team of subject matter experts who have been on board with Q&A that you guys have been submitting online, actively answering questions. Kelly, are there any more that we should take a few minutes to address tonight?
Yeah, we have a few minutes left. Sure. There's one question that came in is how does background speech removal work? Will this only work for English speakers?
So background noise will work for any language. It's recognizing human speech. So in this case, it's a great opportunity, again, to really remove some of those friction points, whether you're speaking English or any other language. If you are any gender or any age, this is based on AI that the team has put together with lots of learning models really to hone in on removing background human speakers. If you want to get technical, things like laughing or crying or sneezing would fall under noise removal. So we're covering you on both angles, both background noises as well as speech that can be distraction or friction point in your meeting.
Great. Do we have time for another question?
We can take one more, sure.
Sure, okay. And I think we covered this, but it might be good to reiterate it again. What type of content can I share with Immersive Share?
Immersive Share, yeah.
Immersive Share, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Adrian did a great job of showing you what that actual experience is for Immersive Share. What you will be able to do in September is share your desktop. So whatever you're sharing on your desktop, or content like a PowerPoint presentation. So anything that you're sharing, it's not uploaded to the cloud, so it needs to be local, but that for a lot of people is the majority of what you're sharing. Coming soon, we'll extend that to more content types, but it is, again, a great tool as part of the Webex Suite. It's available for everyone. We know that there are other solutions that are in the marketplace today, things like and others who are for the power user, but with Immersive Share, we're extending that for everyone to use and have much more engaging meetings.
Okay, well, I think we're close to the top of the hour. So on behalf of our entire team, the entire Webex team, we thank everyone for attending and your participation today. And please watch your inbox in the coming days for a complete recap email, including a link to view this recording and more to come. Thanks again, and we just want to wish everyone a great rest of the day. Bye, all.